Nebraska Secretary of State Bob Evnen testified before the U.S. Senate Rules and Administration Committee today to discuss the 2022 general election along with the state's recently adopted voter ID requirement.
Evnen spoke with our Washington bureau before he testified. He stated he is very confident the voter ID requirement will not disenfranchise Nebraska voters.
Nebraskans overwhelmingly adopted a voter ID initiative in November of 2022 that amends our state constitution to call upon the legislature to provide for voter ID. I'm working with the legislature now. I had an opportunity to let the senators know about that development. 97 or 98% of registered voters in Nebraska already have a state-issued photo ID.
For the 2022 general election audit, more than 48,000 ballots were hand-counted.
There were only 11 discrepancies found. That's an error rate of roughly 0.02%.